Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from the channel Redolescence, and thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate your support. Thank you for being on this journey with me. And in today's episode, we're going to be taking a closer look at the newest release by the company Gallagher Fragrances. This one is called Evergreen Dream, so stay tuned. This fragrance was released in 2017. The perfumer for this is Daniel Gallagher. Daniel Gallagher has been nice enough to maintain correspondence with me throughout the entire process of him making this fragrance. He even asked for my opinion for what to name it. I think he settled on a slightly different name from what I had proposed. I said, why don't you call this October? It would have been the 8th release in the company, Oct meaning 8, but he went for something a bit more transparent in the regard of what it smells, and I think you did a phenomenal job, Daniel, so I'm very proud of you. Now this fragrance, as the name would imply, is a very green and coniferous scent. It's deciduous at times too. It's very woodsy, and it has notes of pine and galbanum and resins, and it's so rich and full. So I'm excited to have the opportunity to be reviewing this for you guys, but let's go ahead and start off the review by taking a very quick look at the presentation. So here's the box for this fragrance. It opens up just like this. It has the Irish crest on the inside with GF for Gallagher Fragrances right there in the front, silhouette of the bottle. It rests in there very comfortably. Very cool presentation. And then on the back here, you have the notes for the fragrance, if it will ever come into focus. And it also has the date of birth. So this fragrance was created or launched on July 29, 2017. It is an eau de parfum concentration, and it's a 100 milliliter bottle. Now, here's the actual bottle. One thing that I like about Daniel Gallagher's fragrances is that they're all a different color. So this one is kind of like on the gold side. He has another one called Bergamus Noir, which is a very dark ambery juice. And then he has one called Amongst Waves, which is a very light green, almost bordering teal. But yeah, here's the bottle. Very crisp and clean, and I love that about it. Same sticker that you find on the box is also on the back of the bottle. Nothing going on at the bottom. And the cap does not click into place, but it is a snug fit, so you could actually pick this one up from the cap. Distribution on this one is really good. No qualms there. Let's go ahead and continue with the smell. Now, you'll notice that as soon as you spray this fragrance on, it opens up very green. And I say that because not only is it coniferous in the sense that it has all of these woods and it has the pine resin, but it also reminds me of another fragrance that I really love. I always wear it right around this time of the year, depending on when I'm publishing this video, that is. And that fragrance is Cape Heartache by Imaginary Authors. It has this pine resin note, but it also has the galbanum, which is a very smooth resin to my nose. It has a green quality about it for sure, but it also has a note of lavender in here, which kind of throws it into fougere territory, like the classic barbershop fragrances, but not really. I would say that the pine and the lavender are kind of vying for attention until you let it sit down, and then it has notes of cashmeran in here, which kind of gives off a leathery vibe, and then it also has a note of oak moss, which gives it a classic vibe. So if you're familiar with those 80s powerhouse fragrances, you know, Jacquard Noir and Polo by Ralph Lauren. I think I have my bottle here. Yeah, there's so much dust on it, right? But it's kind of reminiscent or evocative of those fragrances. And for that reason, I think it's a bit of a challenging fragrance to wear if you're established and you're confident in yourself and you're a little bit older and you have that level of maturity about you and you really carry that forth in your demeanor, the way you act and the way you carry yourself. I think this one would be a very easy scent for you to wear. But if you're looking for something a bit lighter, and we know that a lot of clientele and consumers nowadays tend to veer or lean towards fragrances that are a bit on the lighter side and they're very easy to wear, very casual vibe about them. That's not what you're going to get here. This is challenging, but not so challenging. It's not like this one, Bergamus Noir, which I thought was really challenging. This one is much easier to wear, but it still has a density about it that I wouldn't quite recommend to everybody, but I think it is a really cool scent, and I'm very fortunate to have had the opportunity to own this one. So Daniel, thank you so much for sending me a bottle. I really do appreciate it. So let's go ahead and conclude the review by taking a closer look at my overall assessment. Now, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, it is certainly unique. I know Daniel Daniel Gallagher is a perfumer, an indie perfumer that really just does things from scratch. He gets involved and he gets his nose on a ton of raw materials. He has personally spoken to me about it one-on-one online. So thank you for the great information. Thank you for the correspondence. And most importantly, thank you for being a friend, Daniel. I really appreciate it throughout this entire process. In terms of the overall smell, it's a great smell. It's very festive. It's very evocative of the holiday season. And for that reason, I love it. And it's very sort of poignant and sentimental for me. As far as the longevity is concerned, you are going to get 8+ hours on your skin. Projection is no slouch either. Jumps up off the skin, radiates within an arm's length, perhaps even beyond an arm's length for about 3+ hours. And then it becomes a skin scent at the 7 to 8 hour mark, but this stuff lingers. Versatility is great. Wear it in the winter. Do not over apply with this one. It's going to carry you a long way. It's very loud and robust, and it brings forth a very strong and strong-natured personality about it. I think this one does lean masculine because of the lavender and the pine and the leather and the patchouli and all these other overly masculine notes, which I know some people can argue some of them are feminine, and just a recommendation. So take what I say with a grain of salt. And presentation, I think he really amped it up, especially since the Silk series and the older bottles, which were round, and these actually look really classy. I love them. Masculine yet contemporary, but they have a classy vibe to them as well. Overall, my final verdict on this one is I like it. It's not one of my favorite yet, because I haven't really worn this enough for it to become my favorite, although it does utilize some of my favorite ingredients. I know the ingredients are listed on the back here. I particularly love the pine resin. And then, of course, you have the patchouli, which is kind of a hit or miss with me. I love Hindu Grass by Nasamato, but I don't really like Gucci Guilty Black. So it really depends on how it's done and the variety of patchouli that's used in that fragrance. But overall, I think Daniel did a really great job with this one. The few times that I've worn this, I really have loved it and I've enjoyed it. But the final verdict is that I like it. I just look forward to wearing it a lot more. So Daniel, thanks again for this opportunity. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Hey, have you tried any fragrance from this house? I would love to know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Also, please don't forget to subscribe for future videos, and remember to enable notifications by clicking on that little bell. This way you never miss any of my future fragrance reviews, top 10s, giveaways, unboxings, and a ton of other fragrance related content. Thanks again for tuning in. I love you guys. We'll see you in the next episode. Take care.